when I did my complaint, I went right to the source, and I got non-taxpayer status and yada 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 since 1998. I don't have to worry about it.
You don't pay IRS?
No.
So what do you think about that Ed Brown situation?
He doesn't know. He's out in left field somewhere.
This is really misguided, isn't it?
Yeah, totally misguided.
And it's going to only come to ruination? Probably.
Yeah. He's going down the tube. See, anytime anybody goes into court, anytime, consider yourself cooked. You're done. You lost. The minute you step into court, you lost. All it is how much money are you going to give us, how many years you want to spend in jail. I just had a friend. I'm not going to name names or anybody or where he's at, but he and I was conversing, and he said that he was getting something for me for my race car, and he told me, he says, give me a week, I got to go somewhere, and yada, 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 and okay, all right. And then he says, the wolves are hounding my door, so I called him, no answer, no emails. The emails kept kicking back, his cell phone didn't answer. I finally found out from someone in California who had Pacer that this guy was arrested and put in jail for failure to appear on a summons in court. And he went to court, and he said, from what I understand now, he had made an arrangements with the IRS to go to court to settle this on a compromise, an offer in compromise. Well, guess what? He went to court. It was later. He had worked it all out, went to court, just like you see on TV. Oh, we'll help you out. We'll do this. We'll do this. And then they get you in court, and you're cooked. Well, that's what happened. He thought he was going in, getting this all straightened out, all nice. And it just happened last week, Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
And he's now sitting in jail because whatever charges he's got, he did not argue the case correctly. He just refused to go and argued it on paper.
So they suckered him to come in?
Yeah. And that's what they do with everybody.
All right, if he didn't go in, what would have happened?
They would have sent the marshals out and arrested him anyway.
Oh, they would have, okay.
Yeah.
Also, is it because of the War Powers Act also that we've existed under Admiralty law in courts?
Oh, we always have, because the Constitution was set up under Admiralty. If you go and pull it up and you read the 1789 First Judiciary Act, the whole thing was set up. And if you read Benedict on Admiralty in Matthew P. Bender's books, like the 7th edition, if you can get back to the first edition, which nobody can get, but I do have a copy, it makes it so clear that a grade school, now I'm talking 8th, 9th, 10th grade school person, woman, kid, could pick it up and read it and understand it. The first book, the very first time.
All right, so they didn't put all the legalese and stuff in there, right?
No, but it was old-time stuff, and now the new books, even the 7th, when I got a complete 26 volume of the 7th, and you go through that and read it, man, I mean, it tells you right in the very beginning in Benedict in the first 2 volumes, that's all you have to read is the first 2 volumes. The rest is like wallpaper of the other 24 volumes. They're all good. I mean, they all have something in it. But the first 2 volumes goes through the whole entire history of the Admiralty and how this Constitution in the United States was formed under Admiralty principles. Now, you got to remember this. Weren't we a bunch of colonies? Weren't we in international law? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We were international colonies who turned into international states, still operating under maritime law, because everything operated through ports.
All right.
All the products from this country going and shipped out operated through maritime principles.
All right, so you're saying that from the time we were colonies,
yes,
through the time we were states, there was only one method of conveyance, and that was obviously what we would call surface shipping by water.
Right.
And that's why Admiralty ruled.
Yep. And that's why in 1857, the United States was the only country that they brought Admiralty inland so that they could use the produce of the farmers under international maritime law.
And just to be, I mean, this is another whole 9 yards, but
Even when you go through insurance, title insurance on your house is maritime law, and that's how the states can operate and control your so-called property because they are listed as a beneficiary on title insurance. There's a man in North Carolina here that found this out and is in the process of trying, and he already did, stripped himself and told them he wanted no more title insurance because the lawyer did it, but the lawyer wrote it up and did not include the state as the beneficiary, which it is, and he left that in there, and this is what he's fighting for the past 4 years on it. And if you eliminate the title insurance and eliminate the beneficiaries, they have no beneficial interest in that property. Therefore, how can they tax you?
So not only is this a scam for being able to tax, but also we are looking at a situation where I guess you could say we never, and certainly don't have now, any a allodial title.
There's never been an allodial title in the United States, ever.
Okay.
The only allodial title, and it wasn't even allodial, was to the 7 proprietors. The 7 proprietors owned all the land under grant of the king, and Lord Granville, where I live in Granville County, that's why it's called Granville County, he was the only holdout when the king wanted his land back before the 1783 treaty.
Yep.
Okay? So now, you know, it's not enough just to research, but you've got to see what was piled on top of pile on top and piled on top. And when you put it all together, it makes a homogeneous mix. You don't have a lemon meringue pie where the lemon's on the bottom and meringue's up top. You've got a whole mix, but it looks like the lemon meringue is separated, right?
Right.
Well, in Admiralty and Maritime and all these machinations are going on through insurance and stuff like that, which is all insurance. I don't care whether it's house insurance, car insurance, life insurance, any kind of insurance you got is straight out of maritime and the steamboat, New Jersey, and all that. When you go back and research it, and even the Snyder Act, which was land ownership through mortgages through the Snyder Act case, was a straight Admiralty case, and everybody thinks it was a land case on a mortgage on a property in Michigan. Had nothing to do with the water, right?
Right.
Well, insurance does. Insurance, anything with insurance on it, pet insurance, house insurance, life insurance, death insurance, medical insurance, you name it, anything with insurance is Admiralty Maritime jurisdiction.
Admiralty and Maritime are one and the same?
Well, not really. Admiralty is the law by which it's applied, and Maritime is the modus of operation of which the Admiralty has cognizance of. Admiralty was really the admiral. When the admiral came over, he represented the king.
Right.
And that's why they called it Admiralty. And then when these colonies were formed, when the admiral came over from the ship, he is the king. He had the power of everything on the king. And he could come into the land and go 200 miles inland. He's still the admiral. He still rules the colony. Now you can start to see where Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction under international law is what they are operating under the war powers.
And I fear we're going to see this for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
And especially as we go to globalism, that's still going to be the rule.
Oh, yes, yes. Most definitely, yes. It's all international.
Oh, it's, without that.
Any international law has to be under maritime.
Okay.
No matter what. Going back to Pardiseus, to the Romans, to England, it all emanated from Hammurabi, 4000 BC.
And so we have come full circle.
Yes, we've come full circle. Yes. And it was only through the Admiralty Maritime, because when you look at Title 28, in the very beginning, which nobody bothers to go in, all the prefaces in the very beginning of Title 28, it all says, stares you right in the face, this is an Admiralty document. Title 28 is straight Admiralty. When you get into Title 24, or I'm saying Title 26, that's all Admiralty. All revenue is Admiralty. Maritime. Now, when you get into Title 28 and you go to 2460 to 2465, when you read in there, one of the sections is 2465, it says it must be as near as Admiralty as can be.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because Admiralty has two sides to it. You have the criminal side, which is the Admiralty first instance prize and capture, who then, after you get into the Admiralty court, reverts to the civil side. And it'll tell you that right in the rules. Called him, no answer, no emails. The emails kept kicking back. His cell phone didn't answer. I finally found out from someone in California who had Pacer that this guy was arrested and put in jail for failure to appear on a summons in court. And he went to court and he said, from what I understand now, he had made an arrangement. I'm not going to name names or anybody or where he's at, but he and I was conversing, and he said that he was getting something for me for my race car, and he told me, he says, give me a week, I got to go somewhere, and yada, 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 and okay, all right. And then he says, the wolves are hounding my door, so it's with the IRS to go to court to settle this on a compromise, an offer and compromise. Well, guess what? He went to court. It was later. He had worked it all out, went to court, just like you see on TV. Oh, we'll help you out. We'll do this, we'll do this. And then they get you in court and you're cooked. Well, that's what happened. He thought he was going in, getting this all straightened out. When I did my complaint, I went right to the source, and I got non-taxpayer status and yada 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 since 1998. I don't have to worry about it.
You don't pay IRS?
No.
So what do you think about that Ed Brown situation?
He doesn't know. He's out in left field somewhere.
This is really misguided, isn't it?
Yeah, totally misguided.
And it's going to only come to ruination? Probably.
Yeah. He's going down the tube. See, anytime anybody goes into court, anytime, consider yourself cooked. You're done. You lost. The minute you step into court, you lost. All it is how much money are you going to give us, how many years you want to spend in jail. I just had a friend